In this video, I'm going to show you how to protect a bookshelf for moving. My name is Sean and I'm with Stumpf Moving Storage, and I'm your go-to guide for anything and everything moving and storage related. The first thing that we're going to do is assess the tools necessary to protect this. And by the looks of it, we're only going to need 2 pads and 2 bands. Then we'll assess if the pads are slipping off. We'll move to 4 bands. We're going to take our first moving pad and we'll stretch it out just like this. But we're going to make sure that it's going the long ways, because there's a short and a long way to a moving pad. They're not a true square, they're more of a rectangle. And then we're going to drape it over top. Make sure we have a little bit coming over the back. I've chosen to use one of our tan bands because they're smaller and they'll have a tighter hold when we go to wrap it around the pad. So again, we've stretched this out, folded it around. We'll come around to the next side, pulling the pad straight out. The little excess behind is going to fold in as we bring it around the side and wrap the back. Bring the band down and out over. And we have about a 5-inch, maybe a 4-inch to 5-inch gap here from the top to the band. If we do any less here, the bands can slip off. If we do any more, the bands may not hold correctly. So we want to leave it with about a 4 to 5 inch gap here. Now that we have this band in place, the pad's being held on nicely, we could go ahead and take the second pad. We're going to stretch this out right. And again, we want to make sure it's going the long way, so we have maximum protection and it's not too long and dragging. So once we have about where we want it centered, and if you look at the bottom right there, we have it flush to the floor, no more, no less. We want maximum protection without dragging. We're going to go around the side here. We'll take the band and bring it over, wrap the side around the back, wrap the pad around the back here. Picking it up in the front, we're going to bring it around the other side here. Take that band and bring it over top of that pad. Pull it up as necessary. There's a lot of weight here now and one band is holding it. So again, that's why we use this tan band, because it's much tighter. If you need any of the equipment that we're using here, go ahead and take a look in the description below. We have it all linked right there for you, along with everything else you need for moving. Here's our second tan band. Again, we're going to just bring it around the piece. And we're going to work it slowly, because if you just drag it down, you'll take the pads with it, and we don't want that. So little at a time, just work your way all the way down to the bottom. Just like that. And we're going to bring it all the way to the bottom where we have a 4-inch gap from the bottom of the piece all the way to the band. As I said earlier, once you have the 2 pads and 2 bands on, it's time to assess the piece. And at the most basic form of padding, all we're going to use is 2 bands, 2 pads, and we're good to go. We could load this into the truck. But if we want to get the pads to stay on tighter, say they're slipping off, or we want to make sure that they don't slip off if we have a crazy carry, we're going to go ahead and we'll add another band in the middle, because you can see that there's a little bit of play here, and we'll add 2 bands up and down the sides. So what am I going to do here? Maybe I only have a blue band. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'll bring it back around the sides just like that, and sometimes that works. Otherwise, you could crisscross it and bring it around the top. So you really want to be tight. We'll pull it as tight as possible. We'll crisscross it just like that, and then we'll bring it all the way around this side here. A lot of guys get scared because they can snap if you have dry rotted bands, but for the most part you'll be okay as long as you're paying attention to the type of bands you're using. And then we'll take that top one and we'll bring it down to the middle just like that. Now we'll take this band here. It's always easier to go up than down. We'll bring it around the feet here We'll go straight up around the top. We do have to make sure that we're still getting maximum protection on the bottom. That's a must. Okay, then we'll grab the last band and do the same thing. We'll take that last band. Again, it's always easier to work up, so we're gonna bring it around the legs here at the bottom, and we'll pull it straight up. Go straight up over top with it. Again, we wanna make sure we have maximum protection, so make sure you're not bunching. Make sure you're good on the back and the top. And there you have it. These pads aren't going anywhere. You don't need tape or stretch wrap. If you know how to use bands properly, you can make sure that pads will not fall off of the furniture. This is ready to be carried up and down a flight of stairs. It doesn't matter how you hold it, these pads are gonna stay on. And that's the most important thing here. We wanna make sure that we're providing the highest level of protection for this furniture because we're professionals and it's our job and we care about what we do and we take a lot of pride in that. Now we're not done protecting the furniture. We still have to ensure that it's carried properly and that it's loaded into the truck properly. All of that together equals proper protection. So proper padding is proper protection, but also proper carrying and proper loading is proper protection. If you found this video helpful or informative, please hit that like button for me and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more helpful moving tips and hints. And stay tuned for the next video. It's about to start.